Hey, you guys, I am back to do Married to Medicine all by myself because my husband not feeling good. So, y'all, it really and truly, they could have just made this a two-parter. Like, for real, for real. They keep dragging out the same stuff over and over, but let's go ahead and talk about it.
We keeps it real, expressing how we feel. Whoa, so come on in and sip some tea. Join the KoEd family. We're about relationships and review, making it fun just for you. So go with God, let God go with you. It's time for Kourtney and Eddie.
I was put God first.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Kourtney. My husband, Eddie, is not here, but if you're brand new here, then this channel is about relationships, entertainment, all that good stuff. And he normally say all that stuff, but yeah, that's what this channel is about. It's about reviews and just us having a good time and like to, joke and do all the good stuff. But you guys, make sure if you're brand new here, make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you hadn't already, and make sure that you like this video and comment down below. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to try to be brief, even though I wrote a lot of notes. I don't even know why I be writing all these notes like that. I think it's just out of habit. I'm just a note writer, note taker, whatever. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So it started off with with Simone and Quad, getting into it and stuff like that. So Jackie had to pull Simone to the side and said, listen, girl, calm down. Calm down. She done kicked Tisha out. She was like, listen, give me a minute. Just get out. Go on. I said, okay. This is why she called your mama, auntie, whatever, because you just treated her just like a little child. But Jackie was saying, Jackie was trying to get Simone to calm down. Simone was saying, like, she wasn't there for my dad. Like, the only thing that she was there when they was, I guess, looking for her dad. I don't even remember that episode. I'm quite sure I watched, but I really don't remember it like that. And so she was just saying that Quad wasn't even around. Like, she was only around when the cameras was filming. Like, no phone calls, no texts, nothing like that. And so Toya and Mimi are trying to console Quad, and Quad was like, I don't even know what she's talking about. She's talking about karma and stuff. And Toya was like, well, at least she bringing that stuff up. Like, at least it's surfacing. Now it seems as though Simone just like been totally like mad at Quad under. I think she just kind of masked it, but it seemed like she just been mad at Quad, especially this whole season. And it seems as though like these feelings are coming about. So it seems as though that Simone is saying Quad was never around. You gave us your 80 kiss. And so during that time, we just decided to, chill with Greg and everything. And so Quad feels a little slighted, like y'all should have never brought him on the show. And everything. So she was just saying that this her karma. So in that moment, Toya was trying to tell her, well, at least all this stuff coming up. And, and they was hanging out with Greg because you wasn't even around. So whatever. So anyway, so as they go back to the men are, talking and stuff like that. So Andy was saying that the viewers wanted to know why you told King, talking to Greg, that you told Quad to shut the F up. Or whatever it is, shut the F up, or you talk too effing much, whatever the words was, he said. And Greg said that was his fault. That was his bad. He should have never did that. And everything. And it said, Greg, you told Sweet T, that, as far as the fight and stuff like that, that this man it would have been a death to, a finish to the death. Like, he would have took me out. And then Greg was like, this man is half my size, half my age. So most definitely he would have took me out for sure. Andy said, do you think that it was appropriate for you to talk to your wife like that? That hot mic thing. And so Greg was like, no, it wasn't. And he said, I owe her an apology. Now, in that moment, I guess they cut some. He said, I owe her an apology. And I was like, you hadn't apologized for that yet? But as we see further, evidently they cut that out where he said he gave her he gave her a private apology. Now he owes her a public one. But we'll see that. Greg said that really and truly shows that a pattern. So it's a pattern with you, Greg, because, you talk to your wife like that. And, we can see that you talk to Quad like that. So that just seems to be a pattern with you. And so Greg was saying something, honey, for, he got cut off or whatever. But, we know Greg, child, whatever. I'm glad they say they ain't canceling because I don't like the way he talked to nobody. So Greg brought up the charges, excuse me, and they brought up the charges, that was against Greg, that Greg used against King. So he was saying that, as far as that, King was like, that's a laughing matter for him because he called the police station and they said there wasn't no charges. And Greg said it was because I dropped him. But if it was that he dropped him, wouldn't there still be some kind of paper evidence that there was ever charges filed? Or was he just saying that he was going to do it but never actually did it? Y'all know Greg full of honey, child. Anyway. So King was saying that you approach me. And Greg was like, nah, bro, you approach me. And of course they played the clip back. King did approach Greg. Like he pulled him to the side, was like, man, I need to talk to you in the heat of all the other fights that was going on. As I think Eugene said, they was only there 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. So in the fact of all the other fights that was going on. So yeah, Kurt did approach Greg. And I'm still not wondering. I still don't understand the fact of it was a lot of words that was said, a lot of words salad, all that stuff, whatever, but it was nothing that nobody was trying to actually do. Greg got in the man's face, which was totally wrong. But I'm still trying to figure out why ain't nobody said that this man charged for this other man. Like he charged at him. So y'all not bringing up that fact that we missed some? Was there a charging and then another charging? Like, I don't understand why nobody's bringing that up. I don't know. I'm just baffled. Andy said that talking to Greg, can y'all move forward with this? And Greg was like, no, because it seems as though this man got a certain view on how I am and how I'm perceived. And so he was like, no, we can't move forward. And King said, no, because I'm going to address the stuff that I see. So no, it ain't gonna be no moving forward. So to be honest, I don't know these folks gonna be on the show. It's gonna be, like I said, weird for them to be in the same place and space and you taking a whole cash trip. So I don't know what that's gonna look like. So Eugene said, like, Greg, you had a hard time seeing your ex with her new man. Like, just admit it. This man up here popping his chest and all that stuff, whatever. Just admit it. And Greg was like, nah, that wasn't a problem. And everybody telling Greg, yes, they saw it. Like, even Cecil and Greg and Cecil are close. Like, bro, you really and truly had a hard time seeing that. Like, who wants to see that? And I think he did have a hard time. Like, I would say sometimes women can get over it, but sometimes men have a hard time seeing a ex-woman with another man. It is what it is. I think it's a male thing, an ego thing, whatever. So the ladies are back sitting down with Andy, and Andy brought up brought it up again about the situation that took place with Quad and Simone. So because after they got finished and stuff, they was like, well, y'all was up there talking, and then the girls up here fighting and stuff. So Quad said that she still want to know what karma. Like Simone keep talking about the karma, what karma. Simone said it's always a blame game. Like, you blamed us for this, you blamed us for that, I still don't understand the karma part of it. I'm just trying to just think. I don't understand the karma part of it. I don't know. Maybe because she felt that Quad gave them their 80 kids, and now we brought your ex and his wife on. So maybe that's your karma for you giving us your 80 kids. That's the only thing I can think. You know what I'm saying? Because what she said with the sister circles, y'all know these is my real friends and all that stuff. That's what I'm thinking. But in that moment, Simone was saying some stuff, and she was saying you was just blaming us. And Simone said, we didn't even usher Greg in here. Like, him and Cecil are friends. Like, they've been friends. So that's the way we got to hang around with T and Greg and all that stuff, because Cecil and Greg had just consistently been friends. So that part ain't never stopped. They always hanging out. Quad said, you tell me what I did to you, I guess over the 20 years of the friendship or whatever they've been knowing each other. Just tell me what I did to you. They've been knowing each other for 20 years. I don't know about that. 20 years? I don't know. Mm, I don't know. Something was about some 20 years. I don't know. Maybe I missed that. Kourtney said she brought up the fact that, I'm still hurt about what you said at the last reunion. I just don't really believe that. I think Kourtney needed something in that moment to pull on, but I don't believe that. I just 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 think that she needed something to pull on. But okay, if she said her feelings were hurt, okay, we'll go with that. Now, they started talking about Heavenly apologizing to Contessa. I think Heavenly was basically saying, listen, I'm going to apologize to Contessa because all of this going on and I don't want this right here to happen with us and stuff like that. So I'm going to apologize to Contessa for the stuff that I did. And, I was wrong. And I felt Heavenly was sincere in that moment. I do. But it don't mean that she ain't gonna do something, because even though she apologized right there, I seen on social media where she talked about Contessa's teeth, and she did this close-up picture where she posted her teeth. I guess her teeth look bad or something like that. So that's why Heavenly, she can't be trusted, honey. Just girl, just can't be trusted. So Quad, they bring up the fact that Quad and the Rolls Royce, and the people want to know, when King gonna put a ring on it. So he bought you a car. So when he gonna put a ring on it, or he got your car? Excuse me, I don't know if he bought it. The jury's still out on that. Well, actually, he in court concerning not that one, but others. So and this reunion was filmed before all of them. The court documents, all that stuff came out about King and his scrupulous ways and stuff like that or whatever. But hey. So they showed the clips of the vibe check. Now, this is, like I said, this could have been a 2-part reunion, because now y'all just picking about this vibe check. This all y'all had just about for the whole season. That's why people's watching just to see this part. Like, come on, y'all. We tired. The people are tired. You talk about it when the men right. You talk about it with just the woman. You talk about it with just the men. Now we want to talk about it again. So they talking about the vibe check, the restraining order, all that thing that took place, honey. So somebody said if Quad wasn't so boozed up, you would have, I guess she wouldn't have trashed Greg. She wouldn't have even trashed Greg like that and so whatever. Quad said that, she wasn't boozed up, and she said she wasn't using that moment to trash Greg. She was just uplifting her man. I was like, boo, you must have been so boozed up you don't remember what you said. But in that moment, you was uplifting your man while yet trashing your ex. And I know that Tisha started it, and Corsa, whoever started it, regardless to the point, you went on calling him a narcissist and yeah. So anyway. Y'all forgive me. My sinuses are doing what sinuses do during this time of season. So Andy was asking, asked Greg if he got something to say to Quad. You got something to say to her, everything? Because we talked about it, just a minute. Greg said that, I really and truly wasn't myself in that moment. I was thinking about some stuff that took place outside of the situation and stuff, and I was angry about that. So for that, I want to apologize, because that's not how I act or show up. I said, what was you mad? I said, you lying too. Child, please, you lying. So he apologized for that. I said, okay, y'all be like to pull on stuff, child. Stuff don't be having nothing to do with nothing, honey. You was not mad at nothing that took place before that. I don't believe. Unless you was mad that your woman had said something. You told that girl to shut up. Don't say nothing to her. But yet she kept talking. So I guess you were mad at that. I don't even much know. But okay, we'll go with that. Y'all be pulling on stuff, child, that had nothing to do with nothing. But okay. So Andy asked Quad, did she want to say something to Greg? And being in quite Quad fashion, Quad said, well, I just want to say, when I talk about my man, I'm not trying to down talk Greg or anything like that. I'm not trying to throw shots at him or nothing. I'm just lifting up my man. Sweet T said, well, just keep my man name out your mouth. Like, you don't have to say nothing about him. And Quad said, I didn't. I said it, what I said, after you brought up the fact of me, that he is the one that wanted to leave the marriage. And I responded to that. I said, well, that was midway in of you already responding to them in everything. Was it not? Because at some point she had to say she wanted to. Why would she say she wanted to leave the marriage? That meant at that point she was already talking. Now, of course, I don't remember all the deets of these few episodes back, but at that point you was already saying something about Greg and Sweet Tea for you to say that you wanted to leave the marriage. So something was said. I'm just saying. These folks, they get drunk, they don't remember. And so anyway, that's what Quad had to say, and that's what Sweet Tea had to say, and all that stuff, whatever. So Sweet Tea shut her mouth after that. Quad said that she think it was childish for Greg to file a police report, like to file charges. It was charges of him, and she really and truly thinks that he wants them to lead a group, and I must agree. I do. I don't think Greg want to sit there and see his ex-wife, and I think, in my opinion, and I can't remember, but just probably going on recollection, and just the fact that I think that Quad was the one that filed for divorce. And if Quad was the one that filed for divorce, then I believe, of course, he don't want to see this woman with another man. I do think that marriage was toxic. It was probably at his wit's end, all the things. But I think Quad filed for divorce, and now Greg don't want to see her with another man. I think that's what it is. So I think, yeah, your man charged at me. I'm going to file a police report. I'll restrain an order. I don't want to film with him. I don't want him around. Yes, boot, bye, get off the show. That's what I think. That's what I think. So Greg said that he felt insulted, when Quad was up there talking about, I'm going to throw a baby shower, all that stuff, whatever, and about the baby shower. And I think this was when he said he was insulted. And King was like, no, you weren't. He was like, bro, how you going to tell me if I was insulted or not? I must agree. And that's when he started throwing in about the baby shower. And then Greg said, since you supposedly left me, because when Quad was saying she was telling Sweet Tea, I'm the one that filed for divorce, I left him. He said, since you supposedly left me, I didn't come after you. I said, fuck no money. I don't know, all that just weird or whatever. But anyway, so she was like, how you gonna come after me? She said, I had my own money. Like, I didn't need your money. I didn't come after you. In fact, I helped you build your practice. And Greg was like, you helped me. But I do feel that Quad was helping him. And I think it was said, back then, helping him like probably promote, market, and do all those things. I do feel that Quad was there. Like, most women gonna help their man try to succeed in the business, and probably vice versa, but especially a woman, she gonna get in there, do this, do that. She'll be your secretary, your admin, your market the director, the brand manager. She'll do all that stuff for your business. And I do think that that's in coordination nature to help her husband build his brand up. I honestly do. So, of course, he didn't want to take credit for that. He didn't want to say, yeah, you did. So, they had words about all of that or whatever. So Andy said to the men, he was asking a question, do you feel that, you should stand up for your wife if a situation was to take place like that? And most men like, yeah. Most of them was like, yeah. Damon's like, yeah, you should stand up for your wife and stuff. But Cecil said, yes, but if your wife saying some smart mouth and going in on another man like that, then hey, at that point, you got to really and truly just really kind of talk to your wife and say, chill, because he was like, I don't think that in that situation, and Heavenly disagreed, but Cecil said, I understand what you're saying, but in this case, like I said before, they were married, there were real feelings there. They got real emotional ties still there, probably some soul ties, all that stuff or whatever. So I think the situation that happened with them was different than just like a Heavenly and a Cecil situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were previously married. Does it give him a pass? No, but you better tell your woman to shut up talking to me. Like, stop talking to me, so she shouldn't be able to say whatever the heck she wants to me and me not respond. That's basically what he's saying. Like, come on now, like, make it make sense. So that's what Cece was saying. And Letitia chimed in and said, I just feel it's double standards. Toya can't stand her. Again, I don't know where their relationship went wrong. Oh my God, Toya cannot stand her. And I believe it's all calculated, y'all, to get them off the show. To get them off the show. It's all calculated. The only person that Sweet Tea really talked to is Simone. That's the only person. I know that Simone was on Sweet Tea YouTube channel. I didn't watch it, but I did see it in my feed, and stuff like that. And I think some shots was throw shade and stuff. So I really think that it's to get them off the show. So who can Sweet Tea really and truly talk to? Like Mimi so new, you know. And Jacket, like who she gonna talk to? Simone, like. So yeah. Anyway. So Toya said that, you know, basically telling that girl to shut up, child. You know, you let your man talk to you like that, but we get it. So they started talking about the hot mic and everything with Greg and Letitia. Eugene said, but let's be fair. We heard what Greg said to his wife and all that stuff, whatever. But every husband and wife talk to each other sideways and blah, blah, blah. Telling me to shut up. Really talking down to me. What's the other stuff he was saying? I mean, like, I'm basically, you stupid for saying that. Like, that part, like, husband and wife have their stuff, but you're not finna talk down to me. You're not finna talk down to me because I ain't your child. So in that case, now, Eugene, I can't get down with that because the way he talked to her is so demeaning. You know what I'm saying? And it's so disrespectful. And he didn't even treat her like an equal in that moment. He treated her less than. So I can't agree with everybody, husband and wife, had a hot mic moments, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have stuff that, like, child, you don't want nobody to hear this little argument. But the way that he talked down to her, I can't get with that. I can't get with that. And you know, Heavenly said, no, not my husband, honey, not my husband. He been talking to me like that, la, la, la. But then Shady Production, they showed that time when Damon was talking to Heavenly. Again, he was talking to her as a child. But let's be fair. Sometimes she act like one. She act like, he was basically saying, don't, like, you can't be talking to people like that. We go somewhere, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just, like, kind of chill. But I just don't think it was in the same tone, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, they was being shaded. Yeah, they showed that part. But the context was different because Heavenly do be acting like a child. Some of them words she deserved. They was just in a different context. They were just a different context. Greg, I don't think he see his wife as an equal. I don't think he ever will. I don't think he ever will see his wife as an equal. I think he will always see her as less than, as a child, as younger than him, as somebody that don't know what they doing or talking about. And I just think that in that instance, it was two different contexts. Yup. So Greg apologized to Sweet Tea, you know what I'm saying, for what he said and stuff like that. And, you know, he was like, you know, you my heart, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. And Greg and Kurt said, that's not normal behavior. You know, and Contessa said, you know, have y'all, you know, anybody else, have y'all had those rough moments and stuff like that? And then Toya said, we have, but we went to counseling. When we looked at it and was like, you know what, we shouldn't be talking like this, da, 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 da. We went to counseling. And they said that they in counseling. I don't really believe it because, to be honest, I just don't see Greg want to go to counseling. I just don't. He's a a psychiatrist. And sometimes people that's a therapist, some of them, it's hard for them to go get the help because they so busy helping other people. It's hard for them to even look at themselves and say they need the help. So I just don't think. I think that was something they threw out there, but okay, we'll go with it. So let's see. Can you? The question was asked: can they coexist? You know, Greg, Sweet Tea, Quad, and Kurt. And Sweet Tea was like, yeah, I think we can coexist together. Quad was like, nope, get somebody else to do it. So she was like, you know, she really and truly don't. She don't want to put her man in a, bad situation where something like that may pop off again. So, she really don't think that that's going to be right. So at that moment, Greg performed, child, and everything. And, he had that shirt. I don't know who made that shirt, but he had that shirt of Sweet Tea on him, with her and all that stuff, whatever. And then the rest of it was a really what is it, watch what happens now type of thing. Hey, what would you do if, hey, who said this? It was just like fillers, and it really truly did not even warranted all of that. So, they kind of said what they was gonna be doing, how they felt for the whole season. Simone gave toast and she said, kind words about everybody. And she even said something about Quad in that moment. I wasn't hearing you and now I hear you. I don't know, child. I hope they got themselves together. But anyway, that's it, you guys. That's it for Married to Medicine, honey. Now I'm gonna watch. Now I've been watching. Side note, we through with that. Have y'all been watching Roar? I watch Roar. Sort of. I don't watch it like, ooh, I can't wait to watch it. I don't do that. It be recorded. If I ain't got nothing to do, then I'll watch it. But I'm finna go in here, probably watch it tomorrow. That situation that took place with Britt and Kenya. Now I be all on the social medias watching it, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I may come and just do a video just on that part. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But on that note, we will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. This is. Oh man, made it through. Yep, I may have to because